I was the last person my friend spoke to before she died, and I lied about her final words, because the truth would have handed the spotlight to the one person who didn't deserve it. My friend Amy died a couple of months ago, and I was the last one to see her alive. I went over to her apartment, we watched a movie, ate dinner, I left to finish an essay, and then she OD'd and passed away alone. She was only 19 years old. Our final conversation was unremarkable. I said it was good to see her, thanked her for the food, we made plans for the sports we were going to play together the following week. I told her I would send her a bread recipe we had talked about, and she said she was excited to bake it to bring to a potluck that was coming up. She wished me luck with the essay and I said I would try, but Brian, my roommate, was always loud and distracting, so hopefully I could get it done before he came back from clubbing. She laughed, and the very last thing she said was to say hi to Brian for me. Amy didn't answer messages the next day, so I sent her roommate, Kara, a message to ask if everything was okay. Kara had been staying nearby with her boyfriend, so went home to see what was happening, and found Amy's body. She let me know what had happened, and after that there were police and all sorts. It was a shock and confusing, but I did not pry for details. Amy and Kara were incredibly close, practically sisters, so I absolutely did not want to bother her with questions, and the police had investigating to do. I was asked to describe the evening. Amy used stuff frequently. They don't think the OD was on purpose, but they wanted to know if she was acting strangely. Had she taken anything while I was there? What time did I leave, etc.? And the death was deemed not suspicious. Amy hadn't contacted anyone online after I left, so I was the person she last spoke to. Kara asked me what her last words were. I lied. I said it had been to wish me luck with my essay, and that she hoped I had a good night. Amy had always been positive and such a genuinely lovely soul. Well wishes were fitting last words for her. I didn't say anything about saying hi to Brian. Why I lied? Brian can kick rocks. There is a running joke among some of my friends about Brian's magical ability to make everything about himself. We wanted to do a little Great British Bake Off for fun. Brian buys a sparkly suit and declares himself Paul Hollywood and yells through the whole thing. You're doing a painting? Brian can't draw, but until you physically leave he will lecture you about why you're doing it wrong. Never do improv with Brian. It's like improv with Michael Scott. A group of people want to do life drawing? Brian finds a way to be the naked model. Any birthday features speeches and songs performed by Brian, whether you really know him or not. Someone was going to come out as gay and was planning a little picnic for it. Freaking Brian decided to come dressed as a drag queen to take the pressure off. Whatever sport or instrument or language you try to learn, Brian will insist he is better, or would be better if he tried to learn it, which he won't. He physically can't stand to not be the center of attention. I do not like Brian. I cannot wait to not live with him anymore. He thinks of himself as charismatic, and at first he truly seems that way, but over time you realize it's all just volume and narcissism. That said, many people do still like him, life of the party and all, while his older friends grow to despise him and gradually exit the group. I was one of the first people to find out that Amy had died, and that evening I called my best friend to get it off my chest, and because I needed to vent feelings. Brian heard. I should have been more careful, but I wasn't in my right mind. He asked for more details. Why did he need more details? Because he had already started drafting a mass message to send to all of Amy's friends to let them know that she had died. Amy and Brian met maybe twice ever. I told him he couldn't send it. This was on the day I found out. The police were only just involved. We didn't even know if her parents knew yet. He went off on a whole explanation of how he could find them on Facebook and could check land records to find their house and go there in a suit with a bunch of flowers to sit them down and properly inform them. I said the police would tell them, or Kara. As I said, Amy and Kara were close. Kara is from another country, so spends summers with Amy's family, practically like a second daughter. Why on earth would Brian, a total stranger, be a more fitting messenger? He said he had thought that he should get to be the one to tell them. I remember it well, because freaking get. For non-native English speakers, you get to be player one, you get to have an extra piece of chocolate cake, you get to dress up, you get to have a little treat that you want. You absolutely do freaking not get to tell someone that their daughter has died. This anti-Brian rant is getting too long. He held off on telling most people until after Amy's parents put out an official statement, though then gloated about having known about the news beforehand. He seemed to think that he would be able to speak at her funeral, but compromised and spoke instead at an informal gathering of friends that we held to honor her. He gave several speeches which, if you weren't aware that the two barely knew each other, would make you think that they were very close. He led a number of vigils, events, gatherings, which, yes, were a good morning opportunity for many people, but I'm too far gone with disliking him that I can't see it as anything other than him trying to gain an ownership of the situation. We put together a fundraiser in Amy's name for a mental health organization she had used, and Brian was upset that he was not listed as a contributor. He did not donate. We had a book where anyone could write about their memories with Amy. Kara wrote a half-page, while Brian wrote 2.5. I do not like to lie. It makes me feel sick to my stomach. A couple of months have passed and the knowledge that I actively lied about Amy's last words is gnawing at me. It's so small and stupid, but I didn't say hi to Brian for her. I said I would. She made her last ever request and I'm denying it. I'm sorry for the paragraphs about what a massive jerk he is, but I hope it demonstrates my point. This is what he is like. This is how he behaved, thinking a mutual friend he'd only met a couple of times had died. Imagine what he would have been like if he knew that her last words were about him. I confess, channeling my negative feelings into hating how he has turned this into a main character moment has channeled them away from me and the obvious fact that I left her alone to die. I think my anger at myself for the lying might be part of the overall guilt I feel about it, but that's what therapy is for. Thank you for reading. I have given this a lot of thought and I'm not going to tell anyone what she said, but I needed to get it out of my brain and into words. Update: I posted once on this account 10 months ago. My friend died and I did not pass on her final words because they were about my asshole roommate who, despite not really knowing her, did everything in his power to make her death about him. Sharing the words would cause problems, but not sharing them was eating me up inside, so I told Reddit. I thought it would feel like screaming into a void and was surprised to find support and understanding. It helped me work through my feelings, validated my choices, and made me feel seen. Thank you to every internet stranger who read it and gave their love. I love you all. I was holding a lot of guilt as the last person to see her alive, and sharing my feelings encouraged me to seek therapy. Love especially to everyone who told me to do that. To address some comments, people had horrific things to say about Amy because she took recreational drugs. That's because of me, and it's brand new guilt to deal with. For the people saying fake story because names. In the original post, I wrote A, B, and C, but then it wasn't very readable, so I changed it to Amy, Brian, and Kara. For the people saying they were secretly best friends or lovers. No, they were not. He met Amy twice in group settings. Most of his speeches concerned a theoretical future friendship that was robbed from him. Also, she was gay. For the people saying no 19-year-old has that many hobbies, we went to societies together. It was only 2 or 3 evenings a week and we didn't have a high study load or jobs. I don't know why some people obsessed over that being impossible. For the people saying you're the one making her death about Brian. That's fair. My post turned into an anti-Brian rant. The grieving heart wants what it wants, and obsessing over my roommate being a narcissist got me through the first big wave of depression. And finally, for the people saying, you're making this all about you, it's my post. It's the Off My Chest subreddit and I'm getting something off my chest. Anonymously on the internet because it would be inappropriate and self-serving to do so in real life. Now onto the updates if anyone wants to know. I'm doing alright. Grief is grief, it gets easier every day except for the days when it doesn't. It's been a year since Amy passed, and I can now think about her without crying. Kara is holding up. She took time away from studying but recently came back. One of her family members moved to be near her while she finishes her degree, so she's got support and seems to be doing well. Amy's parents came down for the anniversary memorial. It was good to see them, but hard to say if they were doing better or putting on brave faces for her friends. They're keeping busy. Brian went and found new friends, something he does regularly. As fast as he took over Amy's memorials, he stopped, like a child bored of their new toy. After a month or so he decided he was over it and became passive-aggressive at those still mourning. I moved out and used advice from commenters to grey rock him out of my life. He bailed on the anniversary of Amy's death to go to a theme park and got upset that we did not delay the memorial for him to attend. There are still people in my circle who tolerate him, but he has a new group of impressionable first years to impress his importance upon. People wanting more stories about him. I've been journaling a lot and there's some good infuriating ones in there, so maybe I'll share them sometime, but not now.